Hi everyone joining us live. My name is Adam. I'm from the Faculty of Science and Engineering at Swansea University in the UK. In today's session, we'd like it to be as interactive as possible and for you to ask us any questions that you would like information about. To join in with us, if you're watching live on Facebook, you can use the comment section. And if you are on Zoom, you'll see on your screen what I'm displaying there. On the bottom bar, you've got the Q&A button. Type any questions that you'd like to ask us. You can send them anonymously if you prefer. It'll come through to us as panelists, and following a series of presentations, we will answer as many as we can, as fully as we can. I'm talking to you from Swansea in the UK. Now, if you're not familiar with Swansea, we're on the south coast of the country called Wales in the UK. It's around 3 hours by train from London, and other nearby cities include Cardiff and Bristol, which are all within around 1 hour driving distance. It's a fairly small city, especially compared to maybe where you are watching from. Our population is around 250,000 people. We're coastal. You can see the bay that we are situated on, and there are many beaches around the area. So it's a beautiful coastal place. There are 2 universities in the city, each with multiple campuses. And that means of that population, there are a lot of young people studying here in the city, and a lot of people from all over the world who are living here in the city because of that. Now, that means that it's youthful, it's vibrant, it's multicultural, it's an exciting place to live. And it means that a lot of the services around leisure, sport, lifestyle, culture is geared towards young people from all over the world. So not only is it a great place to study, as you are soon going to learn about, it is a great place to live. Now, in terms of the university itself, so Swansea University, we are just over 100 years old. And we were formed at Singleton campus, which is the bottom image you can see on screen there. It's in the middle of a lovely park, just across the road from a large beach. And in those 100 years, we've obviously grown and changed and evolved to the point where 7 years ago, we opened a second campus, which is just a short drive away from that. And that's the top image of your screen there, and it's called the Bay Campus. Bay Campus is home to our business school, our computer science and mathematics programs, and all of our engineering programs. We actually have 9 buildings on that campus just for science and engineering programs. There's also a student accommodation on each of those campuses as well, and of different types and different styles and different costs as well. We've got around 20,000 students in the university. And again, you know, it's a large proportion, as I mentioned, of international students, where more than 3,000 students are from overseas. The university, we were very reputable in the UK. We've got high stats and rankings. So we're top 25 in the UK at the Guardian University Guide of this year. And we're ranked 6th in the UK for course satisfaction in that same league table. In the National Student Survey, we're ranked 12th in the UK. So students are really satisfied, they're really happy with their course and their lives here at Swansea. And we've got excellent teaching. So in the Teaching Excellence Framework, which is the highest, we receive a Gold Award, which is the highest that you can receive in the UK for the quality of teaching. We're going to tell you a lot more in detail now about our MSc with industry programs in engineering. But as I mentioned, you can type in as many questions as you like. If you would like to stay in touch with us beyond today's session, my email address is on screen. Please take a moment to take note of it. And I'd welcome any messages from you if you'd like to find out more about anything to do with studying and living at Swansea University. I'm joined today by my colleague. We have Dr. Vasilios Samaras. So Vasilios is going to tell you all about the program that he leads on, which are these novel and unique 2-year MSc programs where you spend a year studying as you would with a typical MSc, and there's a placement opportunity as part of that course where you can spend 1 year working with industry. Vasilios, I'll hand over to you.
Thank you very much. I'll just share my screen, Adam.
That's good.
Can everyone share my screen? Is it okay? Okay. Yeah, hi, everyone. My name is Vasilios. I'm a senior lecturer here at the Faculty of Science and Engineering at Swansea University. I joined the university 3 years ago after working in industry for more than 15 years. And one of my roles in university, I'm academic mentor for several students that are doing their undergraduate or postgraduate placements with industry. And I'm also coordinating the MSc here in industry. So I've put with my colleagues a few slides just to explain more about the program. And we'll try to keep the presentation short, and we'll be happy after to engage and have an interactive discussion if you have any questions. So to start with, why MSc with a year in industry? And this is a slide I put to quite a lot of the students in some of my teaching modules, and it is what job you want to do, and mainly for the students to think what skills and characteristics a potential employer will want from you. So I had quite a few sessions like that. What it is really, if we see how the trend has gone over the years, and you can see on the top, and definitely was the pictures when I graduated back in 2006. It was expected by young graduate engineer to be quite good in engineering designs, only technical stuff. But definitely, if you see nowadays, what to expect from graduate engineers, and definitely I can relate to that because some of the graduate engineers who work with me in the last few years when I was in industry, they expect not only to be good at technical, they expect to have project management skills, even involving business development. So it's expected now from the graduates to have quite a lot of expertise and have much more holistic approach in their working environment, as opposed to probably, as I said a few decades ago, that was only technical stuff. This is another slide. I've used this from a colleague of mine, which we call it the employability equation. So again, nowadays, it's required to have a degree, experience, a master's, and that's why a lot of students come back to do an MSc, other skills, reflections. And quite a lot of these skills is that you can acquire through a placement, through when you're actually exposed to the real working environment. And this is the scheme we have introduced in Swansea. We have done this for many years in the undergraduate courses, having a bachelor's integrated with the year in industry, but recently we have done this for the MSc with industry. So the MSc with industry at the moment is available to several disciplines. Mainly, you can see there in the site, mechanical, material, electrical, structural, and this year also have expanded to civil engineering. And also from the years to come, we'll also expand the program to the MSc with industry in virtual reality. So in the next few slides, I'm going to explain a bit more how the scheme works. So in essence, if you decide to do the MSc with industry, you follow the same academic modules as a normal MSc, because I guess for quite a lot of you, your main aim is to come and get an MSc in any discipline. So you follow the same taught part throughout the year. In addition to that, you are enrolled in a specific module, which is specific for preparation in industry. So this is there is quite a lot of support and bespoke support, because every student might need different support in order how to do applications, CV, and sometimes as well for international students, you need to adapt slightly your CV or cover letter for the UK market. So you have a bespoke support, and you also have a lot of resources. A couple of them is a career development course. You have also a dedicated employability website. So this in addition to your normal MSc that you are doing throughout the year. You have also access, we have a very strong employability team. Every week there are talks from industries that come here from all type of disciplines. So Some of them happening online, some of them happening here on campus face to face. So you have the ability to come and hear these talks from experts in the industry. Sometimes we arrange mock interviews, assessment centers, all happen here. So there is a plethora of events that we're doing to support the students that were here in industry and all the students. And also we have several students that are coming back from the industry experience. So we have events that they are presenting their experience, and this is just some slides from posters sessions that we have throughout the year. This for the mechanical engineering. So the students can come back and they're presenting their experience to the other students. And of course, over the years, we've met quite a lot of people, and this is some of the companies in the UK that have students doing a placement. So how it works, as you do your MSc with year in industry, you have this special support and you start applying for applications. So after the completion of the first year, you can go into a placement in an external company. Of course, it's not an easy task, and the support is here, but it requires quite a lot of effort. I'm honest with the students. They need to apply. You have all the support here, but a lot of times what I say is input, output. So the more input you have, the more output you'll get. So you could apply throughout the year to have an external placement that will start eventually in the start of your second year after completing the studies. And there is also another options that specifically we have for the MSc industry students in engineering. If students can apply for an external placement, if they don't have an external placement, there is also the options if they want to do an internal research industrial placement. The Faculty of Science and Engineering cooperates with a lot of companies. There are several academics that have link and research and industry projects that they're working on. So in several cases, we have students that they will work with some academics in an 8 to 10 months placement, which will be based here at Swansea University. And just to give you an example of this year, we have some students that are completing the course. So their experience, the feedback that they had for the internal placement were very positive. And what happened, nearly 60% of the students that did internal placement throughout the second year, when they did the internal placement here at the faculty, they applied for jobs and now they have graduate opportunities. So the idea is that either if you do an external or internal placement, it will help you add a lot of experience in your CV and give what we say kudos in your CV. And this could help you later on in your career. But what is really the key in the MSc with industry is the flexibility that offers. So if you're thinking to come to do an MSc in any discipline in engineering, you may want to consider have the MSc with industry because it can be only a win situation for you. You have the option, as I said, to do an external placement. You have all the support given throughout this year, and you can apply for an external placement. If you don't find an external placement, there is a backup option to do an internal placement within the faculty, or in some cases you could go back and do the normal MSc and go to a graduate job. And we have several students, especially last year, that they were enrolled to the MSc with industry. They had all the support, and in the end, they decided not to do a placement, but because of this support, this helped them to get a graduate opportunity. So this is really the key that I would like to highlight. Is quite there is a lot of flexible options throughout the MSc with industry. So as I said, you can do external placement, move to the graduate role. So really, your employability journey could start really with your MSc with industry. That's it for me, Adam. I try to keep it short, and I'll be happy to answer any questions about the course and the structure.
Great, thank you for that, Basilios. And the key points and the key unique selling points about this program you've put across well in that, it is that 2-year MSc program that we know is very popular and attractive to our students. There is that placement that's guaranteed. So whether that is externally with a company or an internal research industry collaborative project for 1 year is guaranteed. And we've got some, as you say, fantastic success stories to have those options available. So, if you are considering an MSc anyway, then as you mentioned, you may as well go for this 2-year option where you've got variations within it. You still have your MSc academic program, as well as these career options, these placement options as well. As I mentioned, if anyone has any questions about the program, about which subjects we provide them in engineering, about fees, entry requirement, please type them into the Q&A button, and Vasilios and I are here to answer what you like to know about. I'll start with Vasilios. Can we talk about sort of class sizes first of all? Then, how many typically would be in this total MSc class?
In the MSc, obviously, if you, for example, depending on the discipline, the mechanical probably is bigger, but in general, the MSc class is less than 30 to 40 people. As I said, for the MScs, of course, some of the modules that you do in the third part are joined with other MScs, but in terms of the industry, we're expecting around 15 to 20 students. So it's a very small cohort for the MSc with industry, and there is a lot of dedicated support. So it is myself, they have other colleagues, and we have, like here in Swansea, quite a lot of experts that have worked in industry and they're employability champions. So my background is mainly mechanical, but we have people that are from electrical engineering background. So there is a lot of bespoke support to the students from the huge employability network when they're searching for external placements and how to apply. We do mock interviews with students. So all the support is there. Of course, as I said, there is quite a lot of effort needs to be done from the students, but because of this small cohort size, there is quite a lot of one-to-one support, and this is one of the unique characters, especially for the MSc with industry.
Yeah, that's the reason I ask, because I know that you in particular, you know each of these MSc industry students very well. You're in constant communications and guiding and advising them and providing support, and even the academic modules separate to the industry placements. Because of the small class sizes, it means that there's a lot of support there for the academic side of things, as well as trying to secure placement. There's a lot of contact time with the staff. The staff don't have much divided attention, because again, there's a small cohort that they can provide support to. It lends well to the labs, so any practical elements, we've got these small classes, whether that's in computer suites or practical workshops. That's really good.
And again, Adam, is this flexibility, I think, that offers that the students can do the internal placement as well, and there is a lot of academics that offer internal placements in various areas of engineering. So this helps the students to build quite a lot of experience, and that's one of the key aspects of the course.
Exactly, and you mentioned as well, then, what we call employability champions. So again, you're the mechanical expert in that sector, but we have in all of the other subject areas, the disciplines, civil engineering lecturer who is expert in civil engineering industry. They have background in industry. They collaborate even still and have contacts with industry in the sector, and so they can provide that tailored support to the subject. And that goes for each of our engineering disciplines and programs. So it's very tailored and specific to engineering disciplines, as well as engineering in general, in terms of trying to secure placement. We've had a couple of questions come in, Vasilios. I can answer the first. So what is the academic and the English requirements? So in terms of the academic requirements, you need to have studied a relevant engineering degree, and we'd ask for a British classification of a 2.2. Now that relates to 55% in your typical Indian degree program as a total score. If you use a 10-point CGPA system, that would be a 6.1. If you use a 7-point CGPA system, that would be 5. Or if you use a 4-point CGPA system, it would be 2.67. But typically for your relevant bachelor's degree, we'd require at least 55%. Now for English language, you would require an IELTS score of 6.5 overall for our MSc programs. However, we can accept some Indian school qualifications if they are completed within the last 10 years. So if you completed your SSCE or your CBSC from an ICSE or ICICSE school, we'd accept 75% in your English subject if it was done within 10 years. Or from the following states, if it was Karnataka, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, or West Bengal, we'd accept your English state board exams if you scored 80% in English in the last 10 years. Okay, so you don't have to do an IELTS if you completed your school, your 12 scores within the last 10 years, and you scored those relevant ones as well. That information is on our website, and I'll send that out direct to anyone who would like to know as well. A few more questions have come in. Let me just read through. So as a follow-on, so a 6 with each in IELTS accepted. So that overall score of 6.5 with at least 5.5 in each of the separate IELTS elements if you are doing an IELTS test. Niana has asked if these courses are available for September 2022 intake. Absolutely it is, yeah. So we are still accepting applications for that. I recommend applying as soon as possible because we are very quick with providing offers. So we do give offers within 3 to 5 days if you submit the applications fully and provide all of the information and documents that are asked for in that application. We'd make an offer within 3 to 5 days, but apply as soon as possible so that you can get that offer, because there are follow-on steps that can be quite time-consuming, such as organising your finance to the point where you can receive a cash statement, and then obviously then the visa requirements, and that may take some time. The first step is to receive your offer, so please don't delay that. Apply now, and it means then you've got more time to get those other steps that will take quite a while and are dependent on external forces. You've got more time to deal with that then. A question has come in, Vasilios. Specific to electronic and electrical engineering, what companies do provide placements for this subject area? So electronic and electrical engineering.
Yes, the companies there is a variation of companies. The companies are all over UK and that they advertise jobs, and we put the students in the relevant specific engines that they sell. But there is quite a small local companies that also sometimes employ students, and especially what for the MSc with industry and electrical and electronic, quite a few nice success stories. We have a few students that last year they were in the MSc with industry, but they found a graduate job, so they decided to go back to take the normal MSc in electrical engineering and start working. And what the two students this year that they did the MSc with industry and electrical and electronic, they did an internal placement here working with Dr. Karin Enzer. We're basically on an autonomous electric car was the particular project. They find very interesting, and both of them, they managed to secure a graduate job throughout this experience. And this was because what they found quite helpful is that when they did the CV in the second year, then they were able to demonstrate more experience and say that, look, I have 10 months of experience working here in Faculty of Science and Engineering in specific projects. And as I said, this is really one of the benefits that the MSc with industry offers.
And specific to that subject area, a question that I can answer is the employability rate for, in this case, electronic and electrical engineering. We don't have a specific stat for the MSc with industry program because it's a new program that was started after the last national assessment. But for our Department of Electronic and Electrical Engineering, in the last national assessment, which is the Department of Leavers of Higher Education survey, 93% of our electronic and electrical engineering students were placed within 6 months of graduating. and 93% of those were in a graduate level job. So, it's a very strong ranking. And the average starting salary in that assessment was £24,000.
And Adam, if I can add in this one, because I'm involved quite a lot in the undergraduate scheme with industry. So as you said, the employability rate from all our degrees, mechanical, electrical, civil, is excellent, it's around 93% that you said. But what I can say for the students that they did undergraduate or postgraduate with a year in industry, this goes to nearly 100%, because this is, as I said, they are able to demonstrate to the potential future employers that they have experience. And in some case, really, students that they do a year in industry placement, sometimes it's like a long-term interview. Quite a lot of times the company will end up employing them after, because I can tell you from experience, employing people is one of the hardest things in the world, So when some companies have some students during the placement that they perform really well, more likely at the end of the placement, they will offer them a graduate role. And this has happened numerous times.
I can answer Nyana's question if open university degrees are valid for Swansea. Typically, yes, we do accept them. However, we would need to assess the modules that would have been covered in your open university degree. So again, when you do submit that application, provide as much detail as possible about the degree that you've studied, including the modules that you would have and your scores and your grades in each of those modules, and we can then assess whether it is suitable or not specifically. If you do apply and you don't provide that information, we will write back to you and request that anyway. So again, for open university degrees, typically the answer is yes, but we do need to look at exactly what modules would have been studied as part of it. Keep asking your questions, guys. We're doing really well, and it's nice to have this engagement and this interaction. A question has come in, and Gitika, I wonder if you could help answer this one with us, about if students need to pay any deposit amount before the credibility interview. Now, we do require deposit payments, and the deposit is £4,000. And does that happen before or after, Gitika?
So the credibility interview, we generally do not have a credibility interview. It's just we have the interview for high-risk zone area students. So that is at the process of CAS. So yes, you need to make the deposit payment before the credibility, before the CAS process. Yeah.
Yeah. And then even if it's not a credibility interview, we will require right to study checks as part of that CAS issuance process anyway. But the first step is, once you receive that offer, is paying that £4,000 deposit.
Exactly, right.
Brilliant, thank you. Everyone, keep asking any questions that you might have while you have our experts here on the panel. A very good question has come in, is about accommodation relating to the industry placement year. So do we have to look for different accommodation during the industry placement year? It depends on your industry placement. It depends where it is. So I know that if you're doing an external industry placement with a company, they tend to have schemes where they will help to support and facilitate you to secure accommodation, typically sharing or in a group booking of other year in industry placement students. If you're doing an internal placement, it's just a case of reapplying for campus accommodation or whatever you would be doing as a student anyway, if you're looking for local off-campus accommodation. But yeah, all of our accommodations is separate to the admissions process. It's something that you do need to organise for yourselves. But for the external placement, it depends on the company. And of course, the location as well. You may have to relocate from Swansea if you're doing an external placement with a company. Questions come in on visas. So does the university help with the visa, or will I be applying for the additional year? You would apply, if you apply for that Tier 4 visa for this MSc with industry program, it is valid for 2 years.
And then on the top of this, Adam, the students later on can apply for the graduate route visa, which is another 2 years, you know.
Absolutely, yeah. That's right. A question about spouse visas. So again, that would vary, and I'm unable to answer specifically on visa advice in this session for very individual cases like that. But I do recommend looking through our Swansea University web pages and the visa pages. I'll provide a link to you because Vasilius or I are not expert in visa questions. Vasilius, there's a question for you. So whilst in an industrial year, what kind of support would our students get from the university?
Okay, that's a good question. Yes, of course, when the students are in the industry year, other external or internal doesn't mean that we forget them. We're in regular contact with the students. As I said in the beginning, I'm academic mentor for several students that are doing external placement, so we'll be contacting with them. Throughout the year in industry, they need to do some reports and obviously it's something like a portfolio at the end of the year in industry. This is like an academic requirement. We'll be in touch with them and also their employer and the line manager in order to ensure that everything progresses well. So typically there is in the pre-COVID era, you used even to visit them in person, the students. So hopefully now that through COVID, we did some online meetings, but there is quite a regular communication, I would say, definitely, and especially quite for the international students, there is nearly even for Tier 4 requirements, there is a touch base point every month. But the support is there, as I said, throughout the year. So it doesn't mean because they're in industry, they're just working. We need to ensure that they are progressing well, and we also speak directly with their line managers.
Question has come about English language again. So if we accept Duolingo for that, we don't, unfortunately. Let me just double check. I can see you've answered that, so I will leave that. But yeah, we don't accept Duolingo. Only for pre-sessional programs, so those that need a pre-master's program, we would. Okay. Right, Rohit, that's a really good question. Can we speak to an Indian student currently on campus who's pursuing MSc with industry programs? And I'd also add to that question, any other programs? We have a tool on our website called UniBuddy, and I'm going to put the link into the chat. So if you want to speak to any of our students and you are able to choose specifically and search specifically for students from a certain country, such as India, or who are studying certain subjects, you're able to search via that link put in the website, into the chat box that I've just done. It's only available to those that have signed up for the program, so you may not find exactly an Indian student from MSc Mechanical with Industry, for example, but all the ones that we have available are there in the catalogue, and you could choose to an Indian student maybe studying other programs or something similar for that. And we are in the process of collecting case study and interaction from our graduates and current students from the MSc with Industry. On our MSc,
some case studies with this one.
Yeah,
so
on the webpage, yeah, we got the MSc with Industry website as well, the web pages, which I'll show you.
And I'm more than happy, as I said, to if they want. I know two students one student from computation is just starting a job here with Rockfield in Swansea. I'm happy to put in touch some students with, especially because I know I have 2-3 Indian students that so they can share their experience. So more than happy if you want to contact me for this.
Just put into the chat box the link to those MSc with Industry web pages where it's got the subject specific information, and it's got case studies and examples there as well that we've collected at this point. Good question coming in is about, is this course accepted worldwide? I think what they are alluding to is it accredited? So Vasilius, could you answer that?
Yes, it is accredited, the course, like all our courses are accredited. I think the MSc is back accredited, the MSc is with Industry, but all our courses, especially the MSc, are accredited with the relevant IME key. And something else to highlight, this is during the year in industry, as I said, the students do like a portfolio. We have built this portfolio specifically according to the relevant institutes. For example, for the mechanical engineers is in accordance with the Institute of Mechanical Engineering. So this eventually can help the students for the continuous professional development. If they seek for chartership, this year of the industry can count towards the chartership. And this, of course, it helps because the degrees are accredited.
Right, and it's like as you said, it's subject specific. So for mechanical engineering, it's accredited by the IMechE, which is recognised worldwide. For civil engineering, it would be ICE. For materials engineering, it'd be IOM3. So all of these are accredited fully. Yeah. Great. Any more questions? We still have time. We'll give everyone a couple more minutes to see if any more questions come in. But, good question. How many hours per week of classes? So typically, Vasilios, for the academic elements, what's the contact time, and what makes up that week?
The contact time, of course, will depend according to the relevant discipline, mechanical, electrical, but it's especially all the MSc programs. They're quite the students required to have quite a lot of engagement in campus here. And on the top of this, for the industry, we have like there'll be a specific module which will be 2 hours a week, and also they'll have access to the industry events that are happening all the time, and all the students are welcome to come. So I would say easily they would expect to come to have quite an intense program. The students doing the MSc, even the normal without the industry, for this one.
Do we accept students who have a study gap? If it's not too long, yes, but we do take into consideration, especially with MSc programs, and in particular, I guess this MSc with industry programs, it tends to be more mature applicants who have some years of industry experience already. So we do have students who have graduated maybe a long time ago, but then in that time they've been working in an engineering or a management sector as well. We take that into account, and in a lot of cases that's actually a positive factor. So if you graduated your first degree a number of years ago but have been working in a relevant field in that time, that is positive, that is fine, and typically there would be no issue at all to us. In a lot of cases it's quite expected, if students graduate and are then working and decide to then, after a number of years, do an MSc program, that's fine. The key thing with that, I would say, though, is that we would, even if you completed your first degree quite a few years ago, we will need to assess the degree that you did do. So we would need all of the relevant documentation of your certificates, but you're also your module and your score 4 modules for that, including academic reference as well. So again, you'd need to be in touch with your previous university to get that reference. There's questions come in about, once the course is completed, can you apply for a job in the UK? Or do students get hired at the place where they've worked during the industry year? Now, getting a graduate job, a graduate placement with the company that you would have done your industry placement as part of the degree is quite common, because in effect it's almost a job interview, where you're on this placement for 1 year. It's a chance to impress, for them to get to know you, and though it's not guaranteed, if you impress and if the company are able to, they tend to make graduate placement offers from that.
This is very common, actually, Adam. Like one student that was doing electrical electronic with Telcom here in Cardiff, they offer him graduate jobs. But as I said, what is important, some of the students that they did the internal placement, throughout this 8 to 10 months internal placement, as they were doing the placement, they apply as well for graduate jobs. And they have the graduate route visa. So some of them, they have finished and now they have secured graduate jobs to start starting from this July, actually.
And on the other part of that question is, in terms of applying jobs in the UK, from the moment, you're still completing your degree before you graduate, or while you're still on your your student placement, is to start applying for jobs anyway. We have 2-year stay back in the UK. So again, once you complete your degree, you've got that 2 years to secure a sponsored visa to stay on. And again, this placement year you will have done shows that practical experience to those companies. And as Vasilius has alluded to all the way through, it's a much better chance of securing graduate placement once you've done some practical engineering placement work already. Now, obviously, that's external to the university. It's dependent on the employing companies and what they do support in terms of visa and who they employ. But this opportunity is really good to boost those chances.
And we had also, Adam, some students in the undergraduate that they did the degree with a year in industry, and this obviously they had quite more experience, and then decided to go back to international, to go back to their countries, and then they could do the next step in their career because they were already had some experience, or be more employable in general.
I'm just pulling up some more information on question that we've just had come through. One is about relevant experience needed. So again, work experience isn't compulsory. You don't have to have that. The key thing for admission would be a relevant academic background. As I mentioned, any work experience that's relevant and in that related field would be a help and would boost the profile for that. We had a question about examples where students have been placed as graduates. Let me just find a specific question. For the EE Masters. So again, because it's a new program, I can't tell you specifically for this MSc Electrical Engineering with Industry, but again, historically, so again, for all electronic and electrical engineering courses, students are placed after graduation with Tata Steel. We have a number working there with manufacturing companies like Renishaw, with people from a range of sectors. So Babcock, with Dyson, GE Power, Airbus, Ericsson, and that's just, just a sample of some of them.
Some of them they go as well in the more consultancy design, like I said, the students that I mentioned in AECOM, because although AECOM is a big consultancy, they play like consultants in electrical engineering. So there's quite a lot of routes available, and definitely what we see, especially in this year, in the post-COVID era, that the market or the industry market has bounced back quite nicely. So there's quite a lot of opportunities open back. It has been quite a hit, mainly not so much for the electronic or sector, but for the overall sector, it has been quite slow. But now we can see this bouncing back after in the post COVID era at the moment.
There's a question about the class size for electronic and electrical engineering. I'm just pulling up some relevant information.
I think for this, around 20 students, something like that should be something like that, the size of the electric MSc. Of course, there is some modules that they said with other MSc, so there's bigger classes, but
exactly, yeah. We got the variations in it. So for power engineering, it's electronic and electrical engineering, program with industry, there's communications engineering. So some modules, it's everyone combined. So in total, we have 27 students enrolled on the electronic and electrical engineering MSc programs. Okay, I think we've got a couple of minutes left to get in your last questions, but what I'm putting in the Zoom chat box is my email address for you to contact me if you didn't pick it up from the presentation. Send any questions that you might have after we finish. So again, please take note of that. And get any last questions that you may have here now.
Adam, I think we can share South Asia email ID as well in case if the student is.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll just type it into the thing now. Yeah, we have office based in India who can help you directly as well. So in the chat box, I'm just putting their email address. Great. I think questions have dried up there. I hope that that means that we've answered everything that you wanted to find out about in this instance. It was really good to hear what you like to know about and what information will help you. So thank you for that insight. And I hope that Vasilios, Gitka and I have satisfied any information that you needed today. And as I've mentioned, you've got all of these contact details and opportunity to stay in touch with us if you think of anything afterwards. And once you begin this process, so hopefully all of you will now be applying for this program in your related fields. And if you encounter any issues along the way, if you need advice along the way, if you need further information to help guide you along the way, please do get in touch with us and we are all happy to help. Vasilios, thank you so much for delivering that. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Adam. And as I said, if any of the people in the audience was more specific, more than happy, as I said, to have an individual chat. I think this is one of the help now with the Zoom and the technology. You can have direct contact with several of our potential students.
Brilliant, right. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate your time and your efforts for today, and I'll see you all soon.
Thank you very much.
Take care, bye.